Most people think having $1 million saved for retirement means you've made it. That's the benchmark, right? The number that supposedly guarantees you'll be comfortable, secure, and free to stop working whenever you want. And it is a lot of money, despite some people, mostly those who have very little, claiming it's nothing. But here's the shocking truth. Only a small percentage of people actually get there. If you look at how many people in the US really have $1 million or more tucked away in their retirement accounts, not counting their house, not counting businesses, cars, or collectibles, just money that's meant to fund their retirement, the number drops off a cliff. Before we uncover the numbers, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you haven't already. There are many people out there who need to hear this. $1 million, of course, doesn't stretch as far as it used to. It's nothing like 1960 when the average house went for $12,000, but it can still provide a surprisingly comfortable retirement. It's not enough to have a mansion, drive the finest luxury cars, and fly private. It's about stability, making sure the bills are covered and food is on the table. Plus, if your home is paid off and you're not weighed down by a hefty mortgage or high rent, that $1 million can go a pretty long way. According to the Federal Reserve, the median retirement savings for all American households is just $87,000. That means half of all households have less than that saved for retirement. Even among people in their late 50s and early 60s, those closest to retiring, the median is only around $185,000. That's not even close to $1 million. Tons of people think they're well off because they have a home either mostly or fully paid off, yet they have little to nothing in investable assets. So when you isolate what's actually usable for retirement, the accounts designed to pay for your living expenses after you stop working, almost no one reaches the mark. Here's how the breakdown looks. Roughly 7%, or 7 out of 100 people in the United States are millionaires. That includes everything: home equity, businesses, cars, investments, cash, everything. However, data from the Federal Reserve shows that only about 2.6% of Americans have $1 million or more saved specifically for retirement. In other words, for every 100 people you know, only 2 or 3 have reached that 7-figure mark in their retirement accounts. The rest are far behind, and many are nowhere close. And being a millionaire, even when much of it comes from home equity, is still an achievement worth recognizing. It reflects years of financial discipline and stability that most people never reach, but it's not the same as having cash you can freely spend. That kind of wealth is real, but it's locked inside your home. Valuable on paper, yet only accessible if you borrow against it, take out a reverse mortgage, or sell the property altogether. Let's put this into perspective. If you have a $1 million portfolio invested in the S&P 500, historical averages suggest it could double in roughly 7 years. That means you'd hit $2 million in year 7 and get to around $4 million in year 14 or 15, all without adding a single extra dollar. The compounding effect becomes incredibly powerful after that first million. Growth accelerates from there. Now let's compare that investment portfolio to the appreciation of a $1 million home. Real estate doesn't grow at the same pace. On average, US home values rise around 4% per year. That's better than nothing, but it's nowhere near the potential growth of a stock portfolio. In 7 years, that $1 million home might be worth around $1.3 million, a significant increase, but far less dramatic than what stocks could deliver over that same period. The takeaway? A home can help build wealth, but liquid investments have far more potential to multiply your money over time. So why does $1 million stay out of reach for most people? Here's the truth. First, the obvious one. Not everyone contributes consistently. Life happens, people lose jobs, start families, buy homes, or face medical bills that throw their savings off track. Even people who want to save more often have competing priorities. On top of that, many people spend to look successful rather than to be it, oftentimes without even realizing what they're doing. Whether it's keeping up with friends, neighbors, or what they see online, lifestyle inflation quietly eats away at the money that they could be investing. Every raise or bonus that goes towards a nicer car or bigger house pushes real wealth further out of reach. Second, growth requires time. $1 million doesn't happen overnight, even with good habits. For example, someone contributing $500 a month to a 401k at a 7% annual return would need almost an entire career to hit $1 million. Most people simply don't start early enough or don't contribute enough for long enough to reach that milestone. Third, many Americans rely heavily on their home as a store of wealth, or Social Security instead of retirement accounts. They think, well, I'll sell my house when I retire, or Social Security will cover most of it. But the reality is, home equity isn't liquid. You still need somewhere to live, and any money you pull from it disappears quickly. Meanwhile, Social Security was never meant to replace a full income, only to supplement it. Additionally, many people hear $1 million and immediately think, there's no way I could ever save that much. And to be fair, most people can't, at least not through contributions. What they often overlook is that the bulk of that million doesn't come from what you put in, it comes from compound growth over time. Once you understand that, the goal starts to feel far more realistic. The real challenge isn't just building a million, but realizing what it actually represents. For someone in their 30s or 40s, $1 million can sound like an unimaginable fortune. But after accounting for expenses, healthcare, and inflation, it's really just the starting point for a secure retirement, not a guarantee of financial freedom. Let's talk about what life actually looks like for someone with $1 million in retirement savings. Assuming a 4 or 5% withdrawal rate, that's $40,000 to $50,000 per year. Add in Social Security benefits, around $24,000 per year per person, and a retired couple could be living on roughly $88,000 to $98,000 per year. And that's if you reach the $1 million mark in the first place. For most people, retirement looks much leaner. The Federal Reserve data shows that the median 65 to 74-year-old household has just $200,000 in retirement savings. In order to make that last, most have to use a mix of withdrawals, Social Security, and part-time income to get by. So while $1 million might sound like a dream, the reality is that it's becoming the new baseline for financial security, not luxury. Here's where the numbers get interesting. There's a big difference between being a net worth millionaire and being a retirement-ready millionaire. Net worth includes everything you own, but doesn't specify how much is invested. You can't live off your car, you can't pay for groceries with your furniture, and you can't turn those non-liquid assets into spending money without selling them or taking on debt. That's why liquid assets are different, the money you can access easily and turn into income. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much your assets are worth on paper, it's about how much freedom they give you. Someone with a $900,000 home owned outright and $100,000 in savings might technically be worth $1 million, but they can't retire comfortably on that without some major reallocating. Meanwhile, another person with $900,000 in investments and $100,000 in equity in a small home or condo could probably stop working tomorrow and live off their portfolio. Same total net worth, totally different realities. Now, to be fair, like with any set of data, it doesn't tell the full story. There are some people who have wealth outside of retirement accounts, in brokerage accounts, real estate, or small businesses, and those assets can absolutely contribute to a retirement income. But even accounting for that, the big picture doesn't change much. The majority of American wealth is still in their home, not in portfolios that generate cash flow. Their house is their single biggest asset, and while it could certainly be a worse situation to be in, it doesn't make you financially free. The key difference between someone who's net worth rich and someone who's retirement rich is simple. One has equity, the other has income. One owns a valuable asset, the other owns flexibility. And that's why this distinction matters so much, because in retirement, what you need isn't a high net worth, it's sustainable, spendable income. Since most people fall way short on retirement savings, building good habits early can quietly put you on a much stronger path. Even starting from scratch at 30 and maxing out a Roth IRA with average S&P 500 returns can get you to $1 million by 65. And even half of that, $500,000, can still go a long way when paired with Social Security and low housing costs. Now just imagine what you could build if you were an aggressive saver. Net worth is helpful when tracking your progress, but it's like checking your car's oil. It tells you something, but it doesn't reveal the condition of the whole car. It's a useful gauge, but you still need to keep an eye on the other dials, like monthly spending, savings, and income-producing assets to get the full picture of your financial health. What really matters is how much of your wealth is actually working for you, giving you freedom and security. The goal isn't just to have wealth on paper, it's to have money you can actually live on.